What is up, ladies and gents? You know what time of day it is. It's XCN time, and in today's video we're going to be talking all about XCN. We're going to be talking about that recent announcement that the XCN team have made. We're also going to be talking about the charts here, and I'll be giving you guys my price prediction for XCN over the coming days and weeks, as well as my targets for 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you all here. So we're going to be diving straight into this video, and we're first going to look at the shorter term here on XCN. On the 1 hour chart, which we are on right now, of course, we can see XCN progress has been very nice over the past few days. Of course, we are starting on a new shorter term bullish trend, as with the rest of the crypto market. Of course, many coins that you may or may not have seen have been pumping over the past few days. Of course, here on the top right, we have the list of cryptos that we cover on this channel. And so far, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. A lot of cryptos are looking a bit like we are right now on Onyxcoin, just a bit of a consolidation after a nice little pump. Of course, here on XCN, the trend, in my opinion, is bullish on the shorter term and the longer term. On the shorter term, we are in keeping with this bullish support that we have here, and the general direction is up. So over the next few days, my immediate price target for XCN here is along this upper resistance line. Of course, this is a major area where I think we could see quite a bit of resistance, and at this point in time, there's nothing telling me that we should not be able to get to this level in the shorter term. So that's currently sitting at roughly 2.1 cents here on Onyxcoin. Now, when the prices get to this price level here at roughly 2.1 cents, this upper resistance line, we want to watch what is happening with the price, because if we see something that looks like a breakout to the upside of this upper resistance here, of course, for a clean breakout, we want to see an increase in trading volume. So if I just get the volume up, we want to see something like this upon breaking out past that upper resistance there. If that happens, we could potentially see a breakout of a chart pattern that, in my opinion, looks a bit like this. Of course, I've been monitoring this support here on XCN because it's been tested on numerous occasions. I count at least 4 occasions where we've been testing this support line. So it's a strong support here, and we've got this resistance that's going across as well. They're both pointing down, which means that this is a falling wedge chart pattern. Now, if we see a breakout to the upside, so prices exceed 2.1 cents here on XCN, we could be looking at a shorter term price target here on XCN of the first test of support to the first test of resistance. The distance between them forms the price target for wherever we see a breakout here on XCN. If we break out over the next few days, we could be looking at a price target there of 3.4 cents. Of course, that's a 66% upside here on the charts. Of course, that's a 66% upside. So 2.1 cents is a critical level to watch out for. Of course, if you're looking for a great place to buy or trade XCN, then look no further than the MEXC exchange. This is the exchange that I use for all my trading because they have some of the lowest trading fees. They don't require KYC, and for a limited time only, as you can see from the screen, they're giving every new user who signs up using the link in the description down below $20. So if you want to make use of this offer, sign up in that link in the description that is down below. It takes less than a minute to do so. Don't forget to deposit some fiat or crypto into your MEXC account, and then they'll give you that $20 straight away. So you can, for example, just straight up buy some XCN or trade any such breakout. Of course, thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. Back into this video. So this is the shorter term prospect that we have here on XCN. At the moment, like I say, XCN is doing well, but if you look at some other cryptos, it may feel like it's underperforming a bit. For example, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's rally has been obviously quite a bit more stronger than XCN has. Again, with other alts like Ethereum, Ethereum has absolutely shot up over the past few days, but XCN at the moment, although we've seen a little bit of an upside, is still lagging. But guys, this is absolutely normal. It's not quite XCN's time to shine just yet, but over the coming days and weeks, I think we will see XCN catch up with the market. Of course, one of the main reasons for that is because we see a correlation between XCN and coins like Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin has a much higher market cap, And so essentially, we often see these larger cap cryptos like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like Solana pump first, and then we see smaller caps like XCN pump, but with a delay. And of course, although we're seeing a bit of a sideways movement here on XCN in the shorter term, I do think at some point we will see XCN catch up with the whole market, and we will see a really nice pump come from that. On top of that as well, another thing that I want to show you is with XRP. Of course, XRP is another major coin, and it's in the same category as XCN, which is why I pay attention to XRP, because if XRP is making a really big move, then we should see XCN do very well as well. And XRP, although it's seen this little pump here in the shorter term, it's actually not been as strong as Ethereum, as Bitcoin, as Solana. And that may suggest why we're seeing payment infrastructure coins like XCN not doing quite as well as some other categories. Of course, here on CoinMarketCap, we can see some of the sectors that are doing the best, and memes comes out as on top. So memes are the ones that are catching the bids, that are getting a lot of buy orders compared to other categories. But at some point, I do expect this to sort of reverse. Memes will sort of top out, and we'll start to see money flow into payment infrastructure coins. So XCN lagging the market for a bit is not concerning for me at all in the shorter term. Now, of course, I'm going to touch on that news that XCN came out with just last night. They tweeted this. Essentially, they've introduced Onyx Points. And the first thing you guys need to do to start earning points, if you want to earn Onyx Points, is you just need to enroll. They've got a link on this tweet here. I'll actually post the tweet in the description down below, so you guys can just click on that link and go straight to this tweet. Essentially, you need to enroll yourself. You need to connect your wallet and essentially enroll on their website. And once you've enrolled in their points, you get a screen that looks like this. This is part of their Onyx dashboard. Of course, these two are brand new, AI agents and points. AI agents is essentially a chat bot where you can talk to it, a bit like ChatGPT essentially. I need to delve more into that to see its full capability. But this points here is also brand new as well. And once you sign up, once you enroll yourself for points, you see this screen. And there's 3 types of points that you can earn. Now, after reading the information about points, it's not directly tied to monetary value. You don't earn money just by earning points. But the thing with points is that it can make you eligible. So potentially, there might be things like airdrops in the future, and you might have to earn a certain amount of points to be eligible for these airdrops. So to the best of my knowledge, that is where potentially some monetary value comes from these points. Of course, the 3 types of points you can earn are passive points, activity points, and app points. So passive points is just simply by being here, by holding XCN in your wallet, for example, by staking, and then you earn passive points that way. Activity points is by directly interacting with the blockchain, the XCN ledger. So for example, by staking, by liquidity farming. These are all activities that could count towards activity points. And the last one here is app points, which, as it suggests, essentially if you use Onyxcoin apps, such as their up-and-coming mobile swap app that they've got going, then you'll probably be able to earn points via this, although the exact method for earning these points will be specified at a later date. So those are the 3 types of points. You've also got this leaderboard so you can see who's doing the best. At the moment, everyone is on 0 because they still need to launch this. But yeah, if you plan to be an active member of the Onyxcoin ecosystem and you want the chance to be eligible for certain things like airdrops in the future, then this is always a nice way to kind of get yourself more involved. So again, the link for this tweet is in the description down below. You just have to click on this tweet and then it takes you to the website. And of course, that was the point system that has been announced just yesterday. So of course, a nice way to get active here as an Onyxcoin member in the longer term. So moving on to the longer term here on XCN, of course, like I say, I'm very, very bullish XCN. At the moment, what we are seeing here on the longer term is this massively bullish trend. Of course, on the shorter term, it looks like we are moving sideways a little bit. But at the end of the day, if you zoom out on the chart, the progress here on Onyxcoin, in my opinion, has still been absolutely phenomenal. Have a look at the trend over the past 6 months. We've essentially done a 15x from the lows there in 2024. And of course, not many other cryptos can say that. Not many other cryptos can boast that kind of performance at this very current point in time. Of course, the trend in the longer term is still bullish, and we are also seeing signs of extremely bullish chart patterns. One of them is this one here. If we extend that resistance that I showed you on the shorter term for that falling wedge to the high in January, we can see that we've got this really well respected resistance going across here on Onyxcoin. And if I get rid of that short-term support, we've also got a support that looks a little bit like this. It's almost parallel to the resistance. And as you can see, it's been tested at the start of January there from that first pump we had to the lows in April. And of course, this is some sort of bull flag pattern. And this is, as the name suggests, a very bullish pattern. And if we see a breakout to the upside, so if prices exceed 2.1 cents here, we could be looking at the price target here on Onyxcoin of up to 13 cents. Of course, this is my slightly longer term prediction here for XCN, and that's why I'm paying so much attention to this 2.1 cents level, because not only do we see a breakout from that shorter term falling wedge with that 3.4 cents price target, but we could also be seeing this longer term bull flag with a price target of up to 13 cents. That's a 500% upside if this ends up playing out. So very exciting prospects here for XCN. Of course, on top of that as well, I'm paying attention to these fib levels that come from this January pump that we had. And essentially, I pay attention to these particular fib levels because they have been well respected here by the XCN price. You can see that multiple fibs here have been used as places of support and resistance. For example, as the prices came down to this April low, it bounced off the 0.382 fib and essentially used this 0.786 fib as the upper resistance line there. So very well respected fib levels. If we can see the prices pump past the previous high there at 5 cents, my main targets for 2025 then become these upper two fib levels. The 1.414 fib that sits at 17 to 18 cents. Of course, this one is also important because it was the previous all-time high for XCN. So I do expect there to be quite a bit of resistance as the prices get to this level. If we can exceed this 1.414 fib, then the next fib here is the golden fib ratio at 1.618. That's sitting at 32 to 33 cents. And that would be my main target for 2025. Of course, what we need to see in order to get to those levels is essentially these two here on coin market caps. So the fear and greed index and the altcoin season index doing extremely well. That means that the fear and greed index has to be in extreme greed. At the moment, we are at 71, making very, very nice progress. But we need to see a value of 80 for the best possible chance to reach those upper price targets. Sorry, a value of above 80. And of course, for the altcoin season index, we are at 37 at the moment. This value here needs to be above 75. Of course, this here tells us whether Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins like XCN or the other way around. At 37, we're still seeing Bitcoin outperform altcoins, but as we get to a value of 75 above, it's clear that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. And we are again making decent progress. Just a few weeks ago, we were sitting at values of 15 on this index here. So we are making progress towards an altcoin season, but we still got a bit of a way to go. And so, of course, a value for this of 75 or above for the best possible chance of altcoin hitting, of XCN hitting these all-time highs here. So that's my thoughts here on the XCN chart, and that's going to wrap it up for this video. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are an XCN holder, by the way, and you are not yet staking, be sure to check out my video on how to stake. At the very current point in time, they're giving away 30% in staking APR, which means if you stake $1,000 worth of XCN by the end of the year, you'll get $300 completely passively just for staking your XCN. So it's definitely really nice to do if you plan to hold XCN anyway. Again, check out that video that should be popping up on your screen. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.